What is up, YouTube? And today I just want to talk about the shell system in Etheria Restart. So basically shells, as you guys know, it's like a huge boost to your character, and actually in this game they replace the artifact and weapon system from other gacha games. So usually you'd have to, let's say if we actually put Etheria Restart in the scope of like Epic 7, you would actually have to summon for these shells, and you would still have to pull for multiple copies to max them out, because that's like how you imprint them. So basically the shell system's a great system for free-to-play players because you're able to just get those artifacts and weapons that you'd usually have to summon for and get them for free. But there's also some downsides, right, with the RNG in the game in terms of rolling stuff, which I really wanted to talk about today because it's just a really tiring topic, and I think it burns out people very often. I think this is like the biggest source of burnout in the game, and I really just wanted to touch upon it because we have like these new stages and shells coming out for Grim Pursuit. Actually, it's just literally one stage. It's going to just be Chloros, as you guys see here. If I can load this one up on X, you'll see that this one is literally just Chloros, right? So that's the new boss that's coming out, and basically, you know, people are very excited for this. I am as well because it's new content, but I think like the core problem with shells is actually just going to get worse with this new boss, because you're introducing 4 new shells. Probably at least 2 or 3 of them are going to be very good for PvP or even PvE, and you're just going to have to go through the same process of farming for these shells. And the reason why I want to talk about that is because for me personally, I know like RNG on shells is very variable depending on, you know, your luck. But for me, I'm still farming Sharon Inferno, right? I've been farming this boss for more than 3 weeks now, looking for a Halloween shell. And the thing is, like, the RNG in this game can be really cruel sometimes and just give you some of the Halloween shells that are very close, or whatever shell you're farming for that are very close but not what you want. Examples like this one. I actually have 2 of these, I think. Yeah, you can see I'm clicking and it's the same thing. I just want this to be Ether Plague. And you're probably wondering, oh, aren't you being too picky with your shell? The thing is, in PvP, especially in the current meta where you're just tanking down in Etheria, you're going to get stat checked. So by just running characters on unoptimal setups or unoptimal shells, sure, they'll be fine in some situations, but in a lot of situations you'll find you would have won a game or killed a unit if you had them on the optimal setup. An example of this for me would be like my Lilith. So my Lilith actually wants my Holden shell, where it's on Bloodbath, Bulwark, Swift Smite, but I can't get one to drop. So I'm using her on this like Alicorn setup, which yes, makes her decent into some CC units like Casio, but that's pretty much it. And then after that, she's not really going to be cycling as quickly to get as many of her skills off. She's losing out on a lot of damage from the Jackal Guard proc, she's losing out from the turn meter push, and she's losing out on the speed buff. So it makes it so that I can't really play her as I want to, because one, I can only play her with something that can buff her speed, usually Lily or Fushu. And 2, because she's not on Jackal Guard, her damage isn't high enough to be a solo DPS, where people can usually solo DPS with her in like bruiser instances, which is just very unfortunate, right? And like Holden's also a very good example, right? I know a lot of people run Holden on Artisan because they're struggling to find this Jackal Guard. Yes, running this Jackal Guard on him makes him extremely powerful as a first pick in RTA, because you can use him as an opener against bruisers, and he's extremely powerful because of his S3 and his S2. He can cripple Liliums off the rip, he can reset people that aren't on Bulwark, so you just insta-win against certain characters not on Bulwark. Just a very good character. And then my Halloween, of course, I want to put on Veronica. This is like the setup. I don't really run it, it's really troll, but I just play it for fun and fearless, and yeah, I can't imagine how good it'd feel if I had her on a good Halloween. So just wanted to talk about it because, you know, what I think they should actually do as I start my restart battle for the 25th day of Sharon Inferno or something like that. What I think they should do is just change just 2 things. One, I think I talked about this in like so many videos before, and I'm just very surprised they haven't done it yet. I feel like if you hit a certain tier on like, what is it, a passive, right? And let's say you're holding onto it. So for example, let's look at this one. This is on my, primarily I think it's on one of my healers, right? I think it's on my Chiaki maybe, or it might be on like my Sanya, whatever. But basically, no matter what, you're gonna go for HP percent. And I think if you're rolling this and you have HP percent as your previous, you know, the passive effect that you currently have on, I do not believe you should be able to get anything lower. In terms of if you want to allow them to get like the same tier but a little lower, that's really up to you. but you should definitely not be able to get purple or blue HPs when I'm rolling this, right? It just makes no sense. It feels really bad. It's like a kick in the face. So I think they should really change that, and something with the reconfiguration chips, like you definitely need more in the economy right now, because my god, it just feels terrible rolling shells. Like there's so many days where I just do 10 repeat battles, like 10 refills of repeat battles, so like what is that, 100 or so, and then I end up with like 0 upgrades because of the RNG, and it just feels like shit, and I just like get very demotivated. So I really hope they like change something about the reconfiguration, because it just feels really bad when you're just like farming mindlessly and you don't get any upgrades even on your passives. Like even if you don't get the shells you want, you should be like not guaranteed, but the RNG shouldn't be this bad for rolling passives. Like if you look at my shells here, I just have so many that just have random yellow, random purple, random blue, and I use this in like top tier RTA, and it's like, okay, well, you know, something has to be a problem with this if I'm like constantly farming and reconfiguring shells and I can't get what I want on more than like 3 of them, right? So I think that they should definitely introduce something at this point, because we're like almost 4 months in and it just feels terrible still, to help with the shell reconfiguration, because even if the pacing is what they want, the variety in RNG that can hit you is just terrible, like honestly. So I think they should definitely like change the passive rerolling and maybe even give us more chips, because it just feels really bad. Now the next thing I actually want to talk about is the module forge. So I think this event is really good, but I think we should also get one for shells. And the module forge, basically you're allowed to choose your main stat and then, you know, your substats. Having one for shells would be absolutely amazing, even if they didn't allow us to choose the shell passives, because, you know, maybe they don't want us to, because you still did have to roll the modules. Just being able to choose the shell that you want with the 3 matrices would be such a huge boost. And if they do this once a month, I think it'd be like absolutely perfect, because, you know, getting 1 shell once a month isn't that meaningful. That's like a perfect shell, that is, because you can see I have like what, 30 plus shells in my inventory right now, right? So 1 shell a month can't be that impactful on like you know, how much players have to farm, but it just feels really good if you just want 1 specific shell for a character that you're building. And whether they do it every month or every 2 months, because characters come out every 3 weeks, so maybe they don't want people to just craft their shell for free every character they get. Really up to them, but I think this is a very good change, because like I hate farming shells. Oh my god, I'm like thinking about it in like my past like few weeks. It's just been shell hell, like no pun intended, because you're just looking for like this certain matrix setup, and I know a lot of people will say like, oh, you know, it's usable on other setups. Yes, it's usable, but you have to realize this is a PvP game, and if you're on an unoptimal setup and you're fighting against someone on an optimal setup, you're automatically at a disadvantage. So why would we play at a disadvantage, right? So that's my point that I'm trying to make today, and I really think they should really fix the shell economy system. And I think I also proposed these changes a while ago, but hopefully I propose it again and it gets more traction and they look at it. I'm sure they have something in mind for the Asia release, because they probably don't want to make huge changes, because the biggest part of the player base is coming September 25th. But, you know, I just wanted to make this video to let everyone else more aware of what I think about it. And also, hopefully if the devs see this, they also take this into consideration again if they already haven't, and make some changes. But yeah, pretty much it for this video. All I wanted to talk about today. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next video.